Hi, DSA Property Consulting. If you own property in Australia or you're thinking to buy one, the 2026 budget just rewrote the rulebook. Negative gearing, capital gains tax, foreign buyers, family trust, self-managed super fund, everything changed. This is the biggest shake-up to property tax in about 25 years. Today, I'm going to walk you through all the key points in some detail. Alright, let's get right to it and demystify the budget. I'm going to start with the big one, capital gains tax. And this is the tax you pay on the profit when you sell an investment. And the way that profit gets taxed is completely changing. Let's buy a property together. Today, you buy an apartment for $1 million. But the price on the contract isn't your real cost. You also pay stamp duty, about $38,000, and a few thousand in other costs, legals, inspections, and so on. Add it all up and your true cost is about $1.04 million. The tax office calls it your cost base. Remember the term? Cost base. It's basically everything the asset really cost you to buy. Now fast forward 10 years. You sell the asset for $2 million. Off the top come your selling costs, agent, legals, and what have you, for a total sum of about $40,000. Take away your cost base of $1.04 million and your profit, that is your capital gain, is about $917,000. Now, here is the part everyone loves about the old system. If you've held the property for longer than 12 months, the government gives you a 50% discount. They only tax you on half the gain. So instead of $917,000, you're only taxed on about $458,000. If this capital gain is your only income for that year, you pay roughly around $182,000 in tax. But if you're already earning, say, $100K in salary, then you pay a bit more in tax. And if you're a top rate earner, that top marginal rate of 47% applies to the entire capital gain, giving you a tax bill of about $215,000 at the end of the year. This 50% discount started back in 1999, but from July 2027, it's coming to a stop for some people. It's no longer available for established homes. It's only available for brand new builds. Let me show you how the calculation works in some detail. Same apartment, same purchase, same sale. Only now, you're playing by the new rules, indexation. Everything at the start is identical. $1 million to buy, cost base of $1.04 million. But watch what happens to that cost base at the end. Under the new system, the government allows you to increase your cost base over time. Your original cost is allowed to grow roughly in line with the cost of living. That's all indexation means. The reason for doing that is to help you keep up with inflation. Think of it this way. The money you spent 10 years ago was worth more back then than the same dollars today. Indexation basically recognizes that. So, over the 10-year period, your $1.04 million cost base gets inflated up to about $1.33 million. You're only being taxed on the real gain, the growth above inflation. Now, here's the catch, and it's an important one. There is a flaw. No matter what, you will pay a minimum of 30% tax on that gain. So overall, indexation shrinks the size of the gain, but the 30% minimum tax makes sure that the tax office still gets a solid cut. And if you buy a new build, you get the best of both worlds. When you sell, you can choose between indexation and the 50% discount, whichever method gives you the lower tax. Now, new builds are starting to look very, very attractive, and it's very clear the government is pushing investors towards new housing. At this point, you probably wonder which method generally works out better. And that's very hard to say. It depends on inflation and how fast the property grows in between. High inflation with a slow growth, indexation can win. But generally, under a fast-growing environment, the 50% discount method usually wins. And that's the whole game now. Let's make it personal. Who does this help and who does this hurt? Winners. Domestic investors buying brand new off-the-plan properties. Again, They have the option to choose whichever method works out better at the end. And developers selling those new builds. If you already own an established investment property, you're grandfathered and you get to keep the 50% discount. Losers: anyone buying an established home as an investment property after the budget night. You're on the new system now, and indexation is your only option. And new builds may now carry a premium, and if you're not careful, you may end up paying too much for properties. Neutral: if you live in your own home, relax, your family home is still completely CGT free under the principal place of residence exemption. And for my overseas viewers, an important note: there is no indexation for foreign or temporary residents. You will be taxed on the full capital gain, no discount, no indexation. Action call. So what's the key takeaway? If you already own an investment property, do not rush out and sell it to buy a new one without first receiving proper advice. The grandfathering of 50% discount may actually be worth quite a lot. And also, take extra care in the suburb and property selection if you're buying one of the new builds. Next, the one every dinner party conversation is about: negative gearing. First, what is negative gearing? Let's build it. You buy the same $1 million apartment, you put down 30% as deposit and borrow the other 70%, $700,000. You rent it out at $900 a week. That's about $47,000 a year coming in as income. Sounds great. But now the cost: management fees, interest on that loan. At 7%, that's about $49,000 a year on its own. Depreciation, rates, body corporate, insurance, and more. Add them all up, and they are more than the rent. You're running at a loss by about $39,500. That loss is what the phrase negatively geared means. The property costs you more to hold than it earns. So why would anyone do that on purpose? This is why. You can take that $39,000 loss and subtract it from your salary. Let's say you earn $200,000 in salary and your work-related expenses is around $10,000. That loss will knock your taxable income down to about $150,000. If you do that, your tax bill comes to about $39,000 a year. Now compare your tax position under the new rules. From July 2027, for any established property you buy after the budget night, you cannot deduct the loss against your salary anymore. Your taxable income stays at the full $190,000 and your tax bill jumps to about $55,000. You see, with negative gearing, the upfront tax saving is about $15,000 a year, and effectively, the taxman is helping you carry the property with about $15,000 a year, every year. And that's the number that changes investor maths across the country. You normally get this tax saving in your tax return at the end of each year, which you can then use to pay down your mortgage earlier and faster over time. And when you later sell the property, you'll probably walk away with a handsome capital gain too. See the tax advantage? It's all about timing. It puts more cash in your pocket today, which is a real help for many people. And again, negative gearing will stop for established homes only. New builds will continue to keep it. What happens to that $39,000 loss then? Is it gone forever? Not quite. It's merely quarantined. Think of it as being placed in a separate pot for use later. You can use it against capital gain or other property income in the future. You just cannot use it today to shrink your wages tax. Same quadrant, quick version, winners, new build investors and developers. Negative gearing survives for them. And if you already have a negatively geared investment property, you are grandfathered too. Losers, buyers of established homes after the budget night. If you buy during the transition window, which is the time period between the budget night and 1 July 2027, you can only get the negative gearing benefits up to the 30th of June 2027. Then it stops and any loss thereafter gets carried forward to the future. Okay, neutral. Who's neutral? Owner-occupiers. Negative gearing was never an issue for them, and principal place of residence exemption remains unaffected. Foreign residents. largely unaffected. Because Australia only taxes the Australian income, they couldn't use Australian losses to shelter foreign salary income anyway, before or after the budget. Action call. Don't sell an existing property to chase a new one without running the numbers first. Clearly, negative gearing favors the new builds, but because of that, you may be paying a premium for the new builds too, while also taking on construction risks. So, do your due diligence and choose carefully if you're buying a new build. Now, if you're investing from overseas, this one is for you. Here is the rule. Simply, foreign buyers cannot buy an established home in Australia. This started on the 1st of April 2025, and the budget has now extended it all the way out to the 30th of June 2029. So, for years yet, the established home market is essentially off limits for foreign buyers. So what can they buy? New builds. That's the whole design. The government is pushing foreign capital toward new supply, not competing for the existing homes that the locals are trying to buy. If you're a foreign investor, your entire game now is new builds. Winners, clearly, developers selling new builds, foreign demand funnels straight to them. Domestic buyers, you face less competition for established homes. And commercial property, foreign investors can still buy them without restriction. Losers, foreign investors, you have a limited purchasing pool now, new builds only, and the stocks will likely have future prices built in, and that stamp duty surcharge of 7 to 9% and the Foreign Investment Review Board fees, the costs can really stack up for you. You gotta pay a hefty premium to access the market. Owner-occupiers, less demand for your home if you're trying to sell. Action call. Take extra care in property selection. Check on the project and the builder. Make sure you're confident that the project will complete on time and on budget. Remember, foreign and temporary residents are taxed on the full capital gain, no discount, no indexation. Number 4. Your self-managed super fund and a strategy that's just been switched off. For many years, a self-managed super fund could do something very clever. It could borrow money to buy a property. It used a special structure called a limited recourse borrowing arrangement, an LRBA if you like. The limited recourse concept is the key. If it all went wrong, the lender, typically the bank, could only chase that one property, not the rest of your retirement savings. The property sits in a holding trust, a bare trust, until the loan is paid off. The risk is fenced off and your nest egg remains protected. From the 10th of August 2026, that door closes for residential property. You cannot use this LRBA arrangement to buy a home inside your super anymore. But if you already have one, then you're fine. Existing arrangements are grandfathered, and you can still borrow inside your super fund for business real property. Think of premises that your business actually operates from. But for residential, if your super fund wants a home, it has to pay for it all in cash from now. Winners, super funds that already hold property this way, grandfathered. Commercial property, untouched. Losers, super funds that needs to use leverage. That option is now gone. It's all cash from here. Action call. If you're in the middle of a purchase right now, seek advice before the 10th of August. Number 5, and this one matters to a lot of family businesses, the family trust. A discretionary trust or a family trust lets you decide each year who in the family receives the trust income. And smart families use this structure to share income with members on the lower tax brackets. For example, a spouse not working that year or adult kids at universities. This is to bring the whole family's tax bill down. Very common and totally legal. The government's big plan now is to put a stop to the tax benefit of that structure. From July 2028, the idea is a 30% minimum tax on the trust income. The trustee has to pay the tax before distributing any of it. If a family member's own rate is above 30%, they have to pay a top-up tax as normal. But if their rate is below 30%, which is the whole point of splitting income to them, there is no refund. And that income splitting trick loses its punch. One caveat, unlike the CGT and negative gearing changes, this trust measure is announced but is not yet law. It could still change. So do not restructure your trust as yet. But I suggest you seriously start reviewing your position now. Winner. Clearly, the tax office. Losers. Families who split income to members in the lower tax bracket. Good news for those who need to restructure. There is a 3-year rollover relief window from July 2027 to move out of a trust into, say, a company without triggering capital gains tax. If you run a family trust, this is your cue to seek advice. And finally, the sweetener, $2 billion. Every one of these measures has the same goal. Push money away from existing homes and direct them towards building new ones. To support this, there is a new $2 billion local infrastructure fund. It pays for the boring but essential stuff that has to exist before a single house can go up. The roads, water, sewerage, and power connections. Governments call it the last mile infrastructure. The aim? Unlock up to 65,000 new homes over the next decade. Let's take a step back, and here is the whole budget in one sentence. The government is steering property investment away from established homes toward new supply. Through the tax system, through negative gearing, through the foreign buyer rules, and even through your super fund. If you're an investor, the property equation has become much more complicated. You now need to think about not only the suburb and the property, but also the timing, whether you buy a new build or an existing home, and in what type of structure, and so forth. The answers to these questions will genuinely change your returns from now. If this video helped you understand the budget clearly, please subscribe to my channel and keep receiving my coverage and views on the property market. And if you're thinking of buying a property and feel that I may be able to help you in any way, please get in touch with me. My details are provided below as well as on the slide. Thank you for watching. DSA Property Consulting.